I guess just a thought heading
Sorry.
here towards the last two exhibition games. How do you feel the team is, and how you guys feel heading towards the regular season?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. We've handled everything that's kind of been thrown our way here at camp, and I feel like we've, our game's starting to see things that we want to see out of our game, and like I said, we're in a good spot. Good chance these last two to put it over the top.
Is it more about the process and understanding the system than necessarily the results at this point?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you want to see the system being played. You want to see guys dialing into the details. I think the little parts of the game that summer habits can affect. Stopping on pucks and being in battles and being in shot lanes and stuff like that. All the things that it takes to be successful over the course of an 82-game season.
I want to ask you about that defensive system. Everyone's been talking about how, what is it that's so much different this year, and just the emphasis on keeping the puck out of your net this season?
Yeah, certainly just a couple tweaks to the system. Nothing groundbreaking or anything like that. Nothing really that you're gonna get into full detail. Obviously that's an emphasis. That's an emphasis of our group is keeping the puck out of our net. Obviously it's been well documented. So the system kind of aligns with that.
You guys, you focused on a good start this year, and Jay's talked about it, you've talked about it. Just wanting to come out strong. Is any of that tied to what goes on here in preseason? Like, if you look back to years where maybe you didn't get off to the best start, did you tie it back to preseason? Like, does that process start through these games here?
I think it does, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's wins and losses in the preseason. I think it's more what kind of Jason was talking about, and that's how the game looks, from a system standpoint, and guys being dialed into the details, like I said, that it takes to win. And I think we've seen that over the course of our exhibition season, and we'll continue to look for that in the last two here.
I think a lot of people wondered how Connor Brown would look coming off an injury like that.
Yeah.
You know the player well.
Mm-hmm.
What were you expecting from him coming off a knee injury? What have you seen?
Yeah, coming off a serious knee injury is always scary for any player, and I think he looks great. He's ahead of even where I would have thought he would have been at this point, and I think he looks great. He's been fun to play with in our opener game, and another chance tonight to build a little chemistry.
You came off a serious knee injury once. What was, looking back now, what was the hardest or most fragile, or what was the toughest part of it?
I think it's just getting back into contact for real, seeing how it holds up. I think trusting it, all those types of things. It's hard to replicate what a game is like throughout the course of a summer or pregame or practices and stuff like that. So there's nothing like being in the line of fire and seeing how it responds.
All right. This might sound like a stupid question, but I wonder how much does winning the division matter to you guys? And I ask because you guys have a very veteran team that's been through a lot of playoff series. Maybe it might not matter as much, but how much does it actually matter in terms of where you guys can kind of end up and not having kind of lulls in the matter in the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We want to get up to a good start. We want to have a good last couple games here in preseason. That's our focus. In terms of how important it is, every team wants to set themselves up as best as possible heading into the playoffs, and that includes home ice. Obviously, if you win your division or you win your conference, you get home ice throughout the playoffs, and that always helps. But our focus is the next couple games here and getting ourselves ready for an important start to our season.
The predictions are all starting to come out. Start of the season, all us experts make predictions. Who's going to win? A lot of people are going to pick the Edmonton Oilers to be in or win the Stanley Cup. As the captain of this ship, is it your job to keep everyone in the moment here? Is it your job to slow this train down a little bit?
I've said it, all throughout camp, is it's a long, long ways away, even being in a playoff series. So there are so many things that have to happen. No season looks the same. No team is the same from year to year. We got to continue to build our identity as a group and our game as a whole, and that's our focus. That's it. that's not for us to decide what you experts, as you said, like to pick.
Connor, as the captain of the team, it's the final few days, and there's 3 or 4 guys. There's going to be some tough cuts here. How do you approach that? Because with injuries and stuff, the likelihood those guys will be back at some
Yeah.
point. So, how do you, do you have individual conversations with those guys just to ensure that they're in the right mental frame of mind in case they're not here come next week?
Yeah, you reach out to a guy. With that being said, I think we have a tight group from, even our American League team. I thought it was great that, those guys were here kind of all through September, and because they're going to be with us throughout the course of the season, as you alluded to, with injuries and whatnot. And I keep saying it takes everybody, and it takes a whole organization. That includes those guys that might, not be on the opening day roster here. That doesn't mean you didn't make the team or anything like that. I mean, there's so many things like salary cap and all that stuff that goes on that can get in the way of making the team or not. That being said, I'm sure we'll see them throughout the course of the year, and they're going to be big. It takes, like I said, it takes everybody.
Connor, you need impact from younger players, pushing that sort of thing. How did you think it went with Holloway and LeBlanc? I'm sure you've seen him play a little bit preseason, but you finished the game with him the other night in Seattle. How do you think that went with Dylan and Raphael?
Yeah, I think Dylan's had a great camp again. He had a great camp last year. He came in and had another great camp so far. Looks great. He's playing well in the games. Seems to have lots of confidence, lots of jump. It's a great sign, and what we need push from within the organization, and even with Laffy there, he's done everything that's been asked of him. Big body, shoots the puck incredibly well, plays physical, kind of a straight line game, and I think he's had a great camp too. I think the competition throughout camp has been fantastic. There's, what do we have, like 10 D-men still here. It's a sign of good things. So, I think all those guys have been real good.
Who was your partner, and how were you in pickleball? How far did you go?
My partner was Brad Malone, and we went all the way to the final. We lost to the Young Bucks. Well, it was a little bit. The side was stacked. We were in a tough division, a tough conference, and we grinded our way out and beat all the top guys. Boosh, Brownie, Leon. We beat all of them and lost to a hot young team. They were good.
It sounds like you don't want to say their names.
You guys know it was Holloway and Broby. They were good.
Were you
they
tired?
Were good.
Is that what you're saying? You were tired at the end?
I'm not going to say that, but maybe some loss of concentration happened. But